I've never told anyone this story before. Some of you won't believe me. But if you ever find yourself lost in a forest, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. It might save your life. By the time the sun began to rise, I was deep in the woods. It was beautiful, almost magical. Birds were singing, the air was crisp, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Then my car sputtered and stopped. Just like that. Out of gas. I wasn't scared at first, just annoyed. But as I looked around, I realized I had no idea where I was. The map was useless. And then I saw her. She was walking down the road barefoot, with wildflowers in her hand. Her long black hair caught the sunlight, and her dress looked like something from another time. She was beautiful, but strange, like she didn't quite belong. I called out, "Excuse me, can you help me? I'm lost." She stopped and turned, her pale eyes locking onto mine. For a moment, she didn't say anything, just stared at me like I was the one who didn't belong. Then, in a voice soft as a breeze, she said, "You shouldn't be here." I laughed nervously and held up my empty gas can. "I don't have much of a choice. My car's out of fuel. Is there a town nearby?" She hesitated, then nodded. "There's a village. I'll take you." As we walked, she told me her name, Aylin. I told her mine, but she didn't seem to care. The path twisted through the trees, and soon I saw it, a village small and hidden, like something out of a dream. The houses were old, made of dark wood and thatch. Smoke curled lazily from chimneys, and the people, they stopped and stared as I walked by, their eyes wide and wary. Aylin brought me to her family's home, where her father, Wanaki, greeted me. He was tall and weathered, with eyes that seemed to see right through me. He offered me a drink, a strange, bitter brew that made my head spin, and asked where I'd come from. When I mentioned my car, he frowned. "What is a car?" he asked. At first, I thought he was joking, but as I looked around, I realized there were no signs of modern life here. No cars, no electricity, just horses and hand tools. When I mentioned my car, he frowned. "What is a car?" he asked. At first, I thought he was joking, but as I looked around, I realized there were no signs of modern life here. No cars, no electricity, just horses and hand tools. Despite the oddness of it all, I felt at peace. Aylin stayed close to me, her shy smile warming the air between us. By the time the sun began to set, I didn't want to leave. But that's when everything changed. As night fell, the villagers grew uneasy. Aylin's father pulled her aside, whispering harshly. When she returned, her face was pale. "You have to leave," she said. "Why?" I asked, confused. "I'm not ready to go." "You don't understand," she said, her voice trembling. "If you stay past midnight, you'll never leave." Her words sent a chill down my spine. "What do you mean, never leave?" She glanced at the shadows gathering outside the window. "The forest doesn't forgive. This place isn't meant for you." I didn't believe her. How could I? I was falling for her. This mysterious, beautiful woman who seemed to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. I promised her I'd leave in the morning, but she shook her head. "If you wait, it'll be too late." Reluctantly, I left. The forest was dark and silent, the path barely visible in the moonlight. I walked for what felt like hours until I stumbled into a gas station. The old man behind the counter looked at me strangely when I told him where I'd been. "A village in the woods?" he said, his voice low. "That can't be." "What do you mean?" I demanded. "There was a village there," he said slowly. "Hundreds of years ago, but it burned to the ground. Everyone died." I stared at him, my heart pounding. "That's impossible. I was just there. I spoke to them. I saw the houses." He shook his head. "They say the village appears once every 10 years. Just for a night. But if you stay until dawn..." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. I ran back to the spot where the village had been, desperate to prove him wrong. But it was gone. The houses, the people, even the path, all vanished. In their place were only trees and wildflowers, swaying gently in the wind. I called out Aylin's name, but the only answer was the rustling of leaves. That was 10 years ago. Tonight is the night the village will return. I've waited for this moment, counting the days. I'm going back. Back to the forest, back to Aylin. I know the risks, but I don't care. This time I won't leave. Not before morning. Not without her. Some love stories are eternal, even if the forest demands a price. This version captures the essence of a chilling campfire tale while maintaining a personal and emotional narrative tone.